Andrea Giles, and you're listening to the Heal from Infidelity podcast, episode number 145, Winning Strategies. Hello, and welcome to the Heal from Infidelity podcast, where courageous women learn not only to heal from their spouse's betrayal, but to become the boldest, truest, most decisive, and confident versions of themselves ever. If you know there's more for you than the life you're currently living, but don't quite know how to get there, you are in the right place. Stick around to learn how to create a life that will knock your own socks off. Is it possible? It is, and I'm here to show you how. I'm your host, Andrea Giles. Are you ready? Let's dive in. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode. As always, I'm so glad to be here with you. So, a few episodes back, I did an episode called Losing Strategies, and it was all about some of the things that we do in relationships that end up sabotaging our relationship, that end up not getting us what we want. Often those things are an attempt to make things better. Often it's because we feel powerless and don't know what else to do, and we get in our own way, and unfortunately often make things worse inadvertently. This episode is going to be the follow-up to that of what to do instead. 5 winning strategies. Things that you can practice today. Things that you can try now. And, I want to make the point that I know that many of you are in a shaky spot right now in your relationships. You're not sure what's happening. You're not sure if you want to stay. You're not sure if you want to go. You are waiting to kind of see what they do. I want to offer to you that these strategies do well in any relationship. Yes, our closest relationships, the one with our partner, our spouse, that's the relationship that ultimately, I think, challenges our growth the most, pushes our growth the most, where we really have to dig deep to look at how we're showing up, look at the kind of person we want to be based on our own values, our own standards for ourselves, and dig deep and practice those things. But sometimes we are in a place where it might not be the best decision to fully commit to going all in repairing a relationship. Some of you don't know yet, right? So I just want to offer these things as a way to see, to get an understanding of maybe how you have shown up, how you might want to improve. And I want you to know that by practicing these things, it's going to make your life better. It will make your communication better. It will make your experience with just going through life and knowing that you have grown some skills to handle relationships better. It will be easier for you to go out in the world, in the workplace, in all the different places where we have to practice relationships, where we have to be in relationships, knowing that you have some new skills in your back pocket, some things to practice, some things to get better at, so that you can help your relationships to win. The ones that you're meant to be in, the ones that you want to be in, helping them to win. Before I dive in, I want to remind you that I am enrolling for my group program, Get Your Life Back After Infidelity. It is a wonderful, wonderful group of women. You're missing out if you're not in there. We go deep every week. It's a year-long program where you will leave the program deeply transformed. You'll have lifelong relationships. You'll have the support that you need. You'll have new ways of viewing things, like a whole new lens that you'll be able to take with you throughout your life, not just after infidelity, but throughout your life. I invite you to check that out. You can go to the show notes and it'll lead you there. Go to my website, Andrea Giles Work With Me tab, and it'll lead you there as well. All right, here we go. So as I have mentioned, this whole year I am in a training with Terry Real, the author of Us, the author of lots of different books. He's a therapist that's been around for 40 years. And I have learned so much from him. As it is with anything that we choose to be a student in, it can push our development so much, right? For me, it's not just about learning the stuff so I can come and parrot it off to you and tell you this is what you should do, or this is how you fix this, right? It really is about me being first the student and then the teacher. And I tell you what, being the student is a lot. There's so many things that I have seen in myself where I'm going, oh, yeah, I could totally do that better. I could totally learn to show up stronger in this way. And this episode is as much for me as it is for you. There are losing strategies that I have participated in. There are winning strategies that I want to get better at. So, what I challenge you to do today is as you're listening, I'm going to go through five winning strategies. I want you to listen to one that you will commit to practicing. You might need to listen to this episode a couple times. It's okay. Take some notes. I want you to listen and go, which one would be the most useful to me right now? Which one would have the greatest impact? Which one would go the furthest and really help me, right? Help me get out of the funk that I'm in, wherever you are. Help you with that by trying to improve in this way. It does require courage. It does require digging in. And you can totally do that, right? You can totally do that because at the end of the day, while having healthy relationships is the goal, what starts a healthy relationship is really liking who we are in that relationship. So it starts by taking ownership, digging deep, and practicing being the person and the kind of partner that we want to be. Okay, I'm going to dive into the 5 strategies, but before I do, I want to just make sure to give credit to Terry Real. This is part of what we are trained with, these 5 winning strategies, and I want to share them with you now. Okay, number 1, advocate for what you want. Winning strategy number 1, advocate for what you want. Okay, this looks like getting your partner's attention. How many of us wait? How many of us hope that they pay attention, right? A winning strategy is to dare to rock the boat by advocating for what you want. Being bold, owning your right to want something from your relationship. This is so hard, right? Especially when we have been conditioned to think that good enough is good enough, or that we shouldn't be too bold, we shouldn't be too outspoken, right? All of the messaging that we've gotten. What if you gave yourself permission to want what you want? What if the thing that keeps bothering you over and over is a signal to you to pay attention because this is something that really, really deeply matters to you, and it's going to require your growth to advocate for that change. Okay, so getting your partner's attention by being an advocate for what you want means being willing to rock the boat, being willing to be bold, preparing to risk disappointment or rejection. How hard is that, right? One of the great paradoxes of intimacy is that in order to have a healthy, passionate relationship, you must be willing to risk it. Isn't that fascinating? Right? To really, really dig in deep for what we want, we have to know that the other person might say no, and we have to be willing to risk that. That is why this is a skill, not just a given. Okay, this is a skill. It requires a lot of growth. It requires a lot of self-esteem work to know that you can handle it, to know if you can handle rejection. Okay, often we have to practice really getting more settled within ourselves before we can do this work, because our nervous system sometimes can't handle rejection when we don't have a solid sense of who we are. But when we are starting to get our feet more firmly on the ground, getting more clear on what we want, this is when we can step into this space, ask for what we want, knowing that they might say no, but also knowing it's called a winning strategy because the best way to get what you want is by advocating for what you want. This also requires making your needs really clear. First, being clear with what your needs are, your wants and your needs, and then speaking them. And there's a way to do this. It requires being very specific. It means using a specific kind of behavior, less words, okay, more clarity, less going on, more getting right to the point. Okay, giving your partner a way to deliver. This is a winning strategy, advocating for what you want, and then giving them a clear way to deliver it. Like, I want it to look like this. No guessing games, no moving targets, no, well, it's not quite how I wanted it, so now I'm going to be mad, right? We have to be very clear and give them a way to actually deliver that. Okay. nurturing the change, reinforcing and appreciating what you are getting, celebrating the glass 15% full. Okay, we're so used to hearing more like, is the glass half full or half empty, right? That kind of rhetoric. What if we celebrate 15% full, not 85% empty, 15% full, focusing on growth, focusing on the things that are moving, discussing and negotiating what 25% would look like rather than 15, and allowing time for change to occur. When we are clear like this, when we show up in this way and step away and let other people step into this growth, there are things working on the inside of them that might take time to calibrate. We get so impatient, right? We get so impatient. We want to see it now. A winning strategy is to get so clear that you know that you've been clear, and then stepping back and allowing this calibration to take place. That was all just part of winning strategy 1. Let's get to winning strategy 2, okay? Number 2, speak to make things better. Oh, this one has got me. This one has got me. You know, you guys listen to me, and many of you have been coached by me, and I try to be a pretty positive person, but guess what? Sometimes I complain. Sometimes I complain to my husband about our kids or about different things happening. And when I've been studying this and seeing how detrimental that is, and then looking at this winning strategy number 2, speaking to make things better, this is an area that I am really trying to double down on. Like, what is the usefulness in what I'm about to say? Is it going to make things better, right? So let me tell you what this looks like, okay? This looks like moving out of complaining and into request, getting much more clear, okay? From negative or past focused to positive future focused. This is also tough for me sometimes. I have a memory of hurts that sometimes I bring up, and it's not helpful. Like, it just makes things worse. It can create more division rather than really focusing on where we're going and what we're working on together, right? So moving out of past focus. Now, I want to give a caveat here, okay? For those of you who are here in this space where infidelity is pretty recent, you're in it, right? You're in it. It's not in the past yet. It's current, okay? So I don't want you to make yourself wrong for needing to talk about it, for wanting to go there, for wanting to ask questions, for allowing yourself all the heavy feelings. Okay? You get all of that. You get all of that. Okay? Your growth possibly in this area is getting more clear about the requests that you want rather than complaining. Okay? Complaining will make you feel worse. Saying very clearly what you want is a lot more powerful. It will feel different in your body. It will sound different. It's asking for more. It's saying, I expect more, and it'll get you closer to what you want. Okay. Part of this winning strategy is the understanding that you don't have the right to complain about not getting what you never asked for. Ouch, right? Right? We have to ask. And the more that you grow into your own person, really getting clear with who you are and how amazing you are, how strong you are, how powerful you are, guess what happens? In raising your standard, you're going to want more. You're going to want more. The things that used to fly are not going to fly anymore. And especially after infidelity occurs, in many situations, it kind of feels like all bets are off and this thing's burned to the ground anyway. So this time around, I'm going to ask for what I want, and I'm not settling. And staying in that energy can be really, really powerful. Really powerful. Don't move from it. I know it's easy to go back to your old ways, old patterns, old ways of being. And my challenge to you is to stick with what you're wanting and getting better at asking for it, speaking to make things better. Okay, this goes hand in hand with winning strategy number 1 about being a stronger advocate, but this is a little bit more specific. Okay, part of speaking to make things better is a really tricky part. that I want to share with you. After infidelity, a lot of the respect for the person we're with has gone right out the window. Like, how did this person do this? How are they capable of doing this thing? Part of healing and stepping into a really strong version of yourself is trying to look at this person as a whole person that did this thing. Okay, he's a whole person that did this thing that, yes, really hurt you, all of that. But it's part of stepping into what Terry Real calls full respect living. That people do things that hurt us, that people can really, rock the boat in not a great way, and that we can still act in a way that we respect by trying to see people as a whole and not just as their problem, right? Just seeing their problem, this thing that they did. So what this means is using I statements instead of you this and you that. I. This is how I feel. This is how this impacted me, right? Being thoughtful when choosing your words, okay? Being careful with how many words you use even. Sometimes we can have something that is so powerful to say, and we'll say so much with it that it's like a fire hose of words rather than the impactful short message that we initially wanted to say. So part of speaking in this way is speaking from love with less words so you don't let a great message get lost in the delivery. Okay? All right. Number 3, winning strategy 3, listen to understand. Okay, this one's hard when your heart's broken, right? When you're really hurting, like, I don't want to understand. I don't get how you could do this, right? I'm telling you, in order to salvage a relationship and build something better, this skill is crucial. It is crucial. There's no way around it. There's no way around it. Okay? Be curious about your partner's perspective. This requires so much maturity to be able to say, okay, what was going on for you? What was being married to me like? What's going on in your life that you have been afraid to tell me or that I've been blind to? Like, really being curious, that is a strong relationship skill. In this space, when you're listening, you are actually suspending your own point of view. Ooh, that's hard, right? It's hard to suspend your point of view, to just listen. You're asking clarifying questions that center your partner's experience, not your own. That means when they have the mic, you are holding off on rebutting, on, well, that's not how I see it. That's not how I remember it. You are getting their point of view, their experience. Okay? Objective reality is not the goal, reconnection is. Sometimes there is not going to be an objective reality that you're both going to agree on. One person will remember something one way, the other's going to remember it the other way, and there's really nothing you can do about it, right? And you could fight to the death of who's right, or you can prioritize reconnection and realize that you're not going to see eye to eye, but that you can reconnect and meet in the middle. Strive to understand how your partner feels the way he, she, they do. Strive to understand. Even when you're mad, even when you really don't get it, strive to understand. Now, I want to make one really, really important point here. Agreeing with your partner's perspective is not necessary. You can be a strong listener and not agree. Okay? We might be able to go, I can see how you might have thought that. I can see how you might have felt that way. It doesn't mean that we feel that way. It doesn't mean that we have to feel that way or justify them feeling that way. But we can go, with what you've explained to me, I can get that that's where your brain would go, that that's what you would feel. Okay? It does not mean that you have to agree with them. Okay, so listening to understand is where we kind of put on pause our emotional reaction to what they're saying and actually listen, not from our point of view, but from theirs. Also a strong skill. Okay. Number 4, respond with generosity. Acknowledge and take accountability wherever you can. Okay. This means acknowledging the things that are given, acknowledging the efforts that are there, and taking accountability for the things that we bring to the table, right? And that means good things and not so great things, right? Part of responding with generosity is giving the benefit of the doubt and also giving ourselves the benefit of the doubt. That's part of accountability. Okay. That's part of that there. Giving from a loving, generous heart, reminding ourselves, you know what? I love this person. I care deeply about this person. There's a lot invested here, and I don't want to just throw in the towel, right? Okay. So again, I want to just reiterate again, those of you listening that are not in a relationship, maybe you're going through divorce, maybe you are divorced. Some of you are not with people where this work is going to happen. Some of you are going to listen to this episode and you are going to try some of these things. And the best way to find out who you're with is by changing the pattern, changing it up, and you showing up and practicing it and really digging into the kind of spouse that you want to be. You are going to learn who you're with. You're going to learn, is this somebody who wants to change, who really wants to change? Or is it a lot of lip service, right? This is why this is so important no matter where you are. Okay? This means leading with yes. What that means is openness. Yes, I want to do this thing. Yes, I want to hear you. Yes, I want to connect. Being open. Okay? Being open. Giving to your relationship is in your own enlightened self-interest. I want you to understand that. Right now, it might seem counterintuitive to give anything at all. But from this kind of mature, enlightened place, giving from this space, from generosity, is the thing. If this relationship can be salvaged, being able to show up in this way is your best bet. Okay, this does not mean throwing caution to the wind and becoming boundaryless. Nope, it does not. It means from a very strong place within you with strong boundaries, this is what I can give, and I'm giving it from an honest, pure heart, generous heart, and I care about this person, and I'm going to see where this goes. Okay? What this space requires from a place of just so much maturity is stepping out of the old norms of like, this is your role, this is my role. There's a lot of that in patriarchy, right? The men have these roles, women have these roles. This one's powerful, this one's less powerful. It requires us to step out of some of these norms that have been passed on to us and become more relational. That I am a human that is worth respect. You are a human that is worthy of respect. And how can we mutually respect and be kind to each other, right? This is called relational ecology. Giving from your own growth, your most enlightened, most mature self. That's why this is so difficult, is because it requires so much growth within us. All right, winning strategy number 5. Cherish what you have. Cherish what you have. Okay? This can be really hard, especially after you've been really hurt by somebody. Anybody who says that staying after infidelity is weak doesn't know what the heck they're talking about. Because to really stay after infidelity and really make something that is amazing, oh, the amount of growth and maturity it takes. So much. So much. In the best way, this is the best growth you will ever experience in your life. It's transformative. It's pulling us out of our unconscious, childish ways of doing things, and it demands of us growth. It demands of us to step into an adult, mature way of being. This is part of that. Allowing yourself to receive the change of another person. How hard is that when somebody is doing the thing that you say you want and actually receiving it, acknowledging it, amplifying their progress? Oh my gosh, look, I see that you this and this and this. Yay. Thank you. I'm so grateful for that. Expressing appreciation for your partner through words and actions, not just in saying it, but in what you do, how you express it. Taking pleasure in the gifts and accomplishments of your relationship. Okay, some of you may feel like you're at rock bottom as you're growing, as you're healing, looking at the ways that things are growing, looking at the way that things are better. Often this can be done with ourselves first, where we can see our own growth and train our mind to appreciate the things that are happening, the growth that's happening, and then extending that to the person that we're with. I will also say this is a great skill for children, like really cherishing what we have, cherishing the kids we got, cherishing all of it, even if sometimes they're challenging, knowing that they're our challenge, they're ours, and appreciating the ride. Okay. This also can include reclaiming romantic space, especially after it has been broken for a little bit, reclaiming it, taking it back, making something that you cherish, cultivating it, cultivating connection, cultivating closeness and unification, and working hard to have a kind of relationship where you both feel cherished. Okay. Sometimes when we don't feel cherished, it can be really hard to cherish back. And this is part of the skill. And the amazing thing is the more that you learn to do this, the more that you in return will feel cherished, because you're helping to cultivate an environment where that is part of what you do. This is part of what we do in this environment. We cherish each other. Do you see that? It's pretty amazing. Okay. It's so easy to go to the place of, why should I work so hard when he did this and this and this, right? Here is the thing. If we really want a kind of relationship where we feel chosen and cherished and beloved, we have to learn to be the kind of person that can give that. And the first person that we can practice with is ourselves. Learning how to cherish ourselves, learning how to give more generously and kindly to ourselves, learning to speak kindly. Every single thing that I just went through, all 5 of those things, can be practiced individually first before we ever take them to our partners. Learning to do this will transform everything for you. Again, this is a lifelong thing. It's not a one and done. And I am a fellow traveler right along with you, where I can look at some of these things and go, I am not very good at that. I want to work on that. I want to get better at that. Okay. I want to get better at this skill. I want it to become something that becomes so natural for me. I want to add, as I wrap this up, that in my program, I'm going to be doing an episode pretty soon, sharing some things that I think will be really useful to hear about how I work and the essentials that we go through in the program, so that you really do get your life back and get to the other side of it. But I recently added something to it, and it's relationship skills. I added a section about relationship skills because there is no shortcut. There's no shortcut to learning relationship skills or to having a good relationship without learning these things. It doesn't matter if you stay. It doesn't matter if you go. If we do not learn the skill of being in healthy relationships, we will divert back to our old ways. It's human nature. We will do what we've always done, even when the best intentions are there. Because if we don't know what to do instead, right, we're going to do what we know. So in my program, it's one of the milestones that I take my clients through is practicing relationship skills in real time, coaching on it, right? Going deep on all of this stuff. It really is life-changing. It really is. If you have been listening to this podcast for a while, thought about joining, why don't you just come join us? Why don't you just come? Just say, yep, today's the day. It's time. I'm going to jump in, right? You're so worth it. You're so worth the investment in yourself. And I have to say, we have quite an amazing group, and the program is really powerful. All right, my friends, I just went over the 5 winning strategies. Advocate for what you want, speak to make things better, listen to understand, respond with generosity, and cherish what you have. Pick one of those things, double down on it, and watch what unfolds. All right, thank you, my friends. I will see you next time. Bye-bye. Thank you for listening to the Heal from Infidelity podcast. If you would like to be kept in the know about upcoming free classes, new podcast episodes, and other ways of working with me, go subscribe to my weekly email. You can subscribe at andreagiles.com/lies-about-infidelity/. Again, it's andreagiles.com/lies-about-infidelity/. I will see you next time.